Well, here it is. Welcome back to probably my favorite game of all time. Yes, it is in fact Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. What an absolutely amazing game. I'm not even going to lie. It is by far one of my most favorite games of all time. Back when I was just a wee lad, back in 1997, I saw a preview for this. It was tiny. It was maybe a picture, 200 by 200 pixels with a little bit of text blurb, maybe even 50 words saying, this is what's coming, and I was instantly intrigued. Obviously, I was a bit of a dumbass back then as well, so stuff like this kind of caught me on rather quickly, or easily for that matter, and for some reason my brain clicked that day because it turned out that this was one of the best games ever made. It's actually scored higher on several ratings as Civilization 2, which is from the same people. It's Sid Meier's, Brian Reynolds' design as well. So it's made by Firaxis. The IP is currently owned by Electronic Arts. So if you ever want a new version of this, you're going to need to talk to EA about this because 2K doesn't have it, which is a bit of a shame. They did try Beyond Earth a while back. That didn't really pan out. I didn't really like it myself, so yeah, here you go. Alpha Centauri. Shall we begin? Yes, we shall. Just a quick note for those people that are watching for the first time and you're wondering why on earth is this guy rambling. This is a special series to celebrate the 10,000 subscriber mark that we've hit on January the 5th, 2017. So let's get underway. Let's start a game here. Let's customize the map. Let's go for, we got all these options. We even go custom size if we want to. Let's go standard. Nothing too crazy as I nudge my mic there. Ocean coverage. 50 to 70 is fine. Kind of like Earth. Erosive forces. Basically, how tall will your mountains be? I'm going to go for strong on this one. Native life forms, I will talk to you about that shortly, but I'm going to go for average, cloud cover, sparse, and difficulty level, let's go with librarian. I've played thousands of hours of this game, by the way, I would like to point out. The one thing that is important, however, is that even though I've played thousands of hours of it, it doesn't necessarily mean that I am any good. The problem is a lot of this game for me is pretty much instinct, as in I can play this game so fast that in an hour I can pretty much win the game if necessary. So just as I'm really holding myself back here to make sure that people are aware what's going on. So let's take a look at the game rules. We got our 5 victory conditions: cooperative victory, economic victory, diplomatic victory, conquest, which is kind of obvious, transcendence is the science, economic is cornering the energy market, very expensive. Spoils of war, I kind of like this. Steel tech when you conquer a base. First look is when you start off with your colonization unit and you can just move about. Blind research, cannot set precise research goal. This is actually set on by default. Intense rivalry, opponents more aggressive, which is nice. Unity scattering. Supply pods only at landing sites, which is okay. I'm not a big fan of it either. I like the randomization that comes with that. You can play as Iron Man for those people that do like that. So, yeah, even in a game from 1999, they already had Iron Man. So let's go in there, and let's select our faction. Now, we are capable of picking the original 7 or the expansion 7. So, for the case of this one, we're going to go with a mixture of both. We're going to go with the Human Hive, which are basically space communists. That's basically what's up with that. It's the XO of the Unity, which is the spacecraft that got us here. There's quite a big media thing around Alpha Centauri with like books and stuff that basically describes the first years of colonization as well as the reason why the mission failed and the spacecraft that we arrived on crashed, which is maybe something you want to look into. Like, go and read the Alpha Centauri books. They're actually quite decent. University of Planet, I used to play this one all the friggin' time, mainly because they're overpowered as hell. Technology-wise, they'll just completely spin out of control, and you can, get ahead. Peacekeeping Forces, Commissioner Pravin Lal, he's a bit of a doofus. Spartan Federation, they're basically security officer for the Unity, which is the spaceship that got us here, obviously. I actually really like playing as Spartans. They are very, very nice. Morgan Industries, the guy that bankrolled the entire mission, very much economy-focused. The Free Drones, which is a mixture between Human Hive and, yeah, what else, really? Some other guy. probably Peacekeepers or Morgan. And then we got the Lords of Believers, which are basically space Christians. That's basically what they are. And all of these come with like their little text blurbs, and they all got their little quotes and stuff like that. And they're actually quite good. Actually, hold on, I don't want to play as Yang. I want to play as the Spartan Federation. Let's do this. Planetfall, Santiago, a new era of struggle and opportunity awaits you. The UN starship Unity has arrived at Alpha Centauri after a 40-year voyage. 40 years to Alpha Centauri. Man, that's pretty quick. All contact with Earth has been lost after Captain Garland's assassination by an unknown assailant. The crew mutinied and split into factions. As the ensuing conflict, some seized control of the Unity's colony pods, and you now shape the destiny of your Spartan faction. And you just made Planetfall. Let's do this. Oh, look at this start. All right, so first base, Sparta Command. Your colony pod has crashed on Alpha Centauri, and we have used our first base. Now, the Spartans, they start off with a recon rover, or a scout rover in this case, as well as some other things. Let's quickly take a look here at the bonuses that the faction for the Spartans get. They get +2 morale, which means their units will be better in terms of their skills and their veterancy. Basically, they will be very strong at the start of the game. They've got +1 police, which means they will have less drones and uprisings at their bases, and -1 industry, which means their industry is a bit trash. But my God, this start! So we have landed near an area of interest, Mount Planet, which is a volcano. There's a plateau over here, which is interesting. There is a ridge over here, and that is pretty much the planet. I don't see much else. Here's the crater as well, and also on the map we'll have the crash site for the Unity, our spaceship, as well as some secrets. So let's go take a look. Let's move our first unit out, and we got ourselves some energy. Now, here on this menu, basically we got standard base control. If you've played any of the old Civ games, this is basically the same idea, but rather than using history as a tapestry or as a guiding line for your game, this game has actually a very strong underlying narrative, and that makes it so good. It has a very strong sci-fi narrative that really gets your jimmies rustled in terms of your science fiction needs. We got ourselves a monolith. So, we got an ancient monolith. We can leave it alone. We can investigate it or always investigate monolith. We will always investigate a monolith because it will increase our unit to a better level. It's now a hardened unit. Also, if we go to our base and we move our population units over towards the monolith, it will give 2 of each resource, which is food, minerals, and energy. Probably one of the best starts you can have. I'm not even kidding. This is an actually sublime start. So let's move over here. We got mineral resources as well. Could be potentially a problem in the long term because of pollution. Let's quickly change this to energy as we just build ourselves a scout unit. As you can see, I'm moving really quickly through this game, mainly because, like I said, a lot of this is a reflex to me. So we've picked up a new unit, which is an alien artifact. We didn't get a pop-up for it, but it's an alien artifact which can boost our secret projects, which are secret buildings or special buildings, of which there can only be one, and it can also increase the speed that we build our prototype units. Now, Spartans, they don't get free prototypes, so they're kind of expensive. And we also seen a single Mindworm. Mindworm are basically the barbarians in the game. And Alpha Centauri, the planet, sometimes engage in side combat. So basically, the higher morale you have, the easier time you have to fight these units. Now, it's the first time we actually meet a Mindworm, which means that we will get a free victory. There we go. So we now have a veteran unit. It's very strong. And if we find any other Mindworms on planet, we won't have any problems dealing with it because it's very early in the game. The Mindworms will not be very far matured, which means that we can take them down very quickly. And on top of that, we will get energy as we kill them. Now, the higher forms of the Mindworm will yield more energy. But as a Scout Rover is already a veteran, which means he will get a lot of bonuses. It means that he will have an easier time taking them down. All right, research. At the start, 8 pieces of research. There's a couple of good ones here. Biogenetics, which means we can get the recycling tanks building. Very good. Human Genome Project, very good as well. Another good one is Social Psyche. Also very good. Recreation Commons means we have fewer drones. Not really important to us, considering we're Spartans. Therefore, we will go with Centauri Ecology, which will allow us to build our first new unit, the Former. Possibly the best thing to start with in the game, bar none. Why? Because of the weather paradigm. In my opinion, probably the most important secret project in the game, unless you are University, because then it's the virtual world. But we'll get to that later. All right, let's park this. This alien artifact here while we explore a little bit more. We found some minerals. And every single one of these comes with a little text blurb in terms of audio. And we can actually increase the audio here a little bit. Yeah, there's our Former that we wanted. So we actually have this customization menu. Now, if you have been following my channel and there has been a lot of Stellaris, you can actually completely customize your units based on a chassis and a piece of equipment. This is not really the case in any of the Civ games, and this tool right here is what makes the game for me. You don't just get new units. You get modifications to your existing units, like improved weapons, etc. Let's go with biogenetics to get the research tanks, and we get this little building here for our achievement. Yay. Mankind's first research breakthrough. We actually got the first research breakthrough on planet, which is surprising considering we're Sparta. Normally, it is either University or the Peacekeepers that get the first technology breakthrough. So let's look around a little bit more. Another secret, another alien artifact. I just cannot get over how good this start is. It is kind of amazing, really. Let's take this back home to Sparta Command. We're going to need that to build our first secret project, which is going to be the weather paradigm. The weather paradigm, why it is so good, it allows you to build the more advanced improvements in terms of terrain, basically terraforming improvements, pretty much instantly, which is about 100 years ahead of everybody else. And you can get so far ahead with that. So let's hurry this. We don't have the resources for this. In classic Civ style, there's a hurry button that allows you to spend energy to get ahead of yourself. Biogenetics, recycle tanks, and human genome project. Recycle tanks, very good. We will get that, and we'll get Social Psyche following up on that. And let's queue a recycle tank right after this Former, once we're done with that. Not entirely sure if that is a good idea or not. I may want to get a colony pod and colonize over here next to this mineral patch. We'll get to that shortly. But let's park this one here for now. I'm actually surprised. I haven't seen that many aliens so far. Let's build a farm right here. So I hit F, which builds a hydroponics farm, which is the basic food system in the game. Now, if you look at the tile, never mind. If you look at the tile here, it says rolling and moist, which means that we will get an additional bonus to the value of the farm. We can improve that over time by adding soil enrichers and other things as well to that particular tile. And this is also the reason why we want to go for the weather paradigm as fast as possible. Peacekeeper research has discovered secrets of the human brain. The discoveries have stimulated a burst in Peacekeeper research. They get a free tech. If you get the secrets of the human brain, you get free tech. That's basically how that works. Infested with life forms. Okay, we can deal with that. It looks like we have a single hive and a single normal mindworm. So let's go and kill this mindworm, get the energy out of it. We get 10 credits. We're going to move the rover back towards the monolith. And the monolith instantly heals the rover. We don't need to do anything for that, which is great. And here comes my secret sauce. You ready? I hope you are. We're going to build nothing but forests. You may wonder by yourself, why on earth are you building forests? Well, this comes from my mid-game strategy, which involves tree farm and hybrid farms. We'll get to that later as things go. But my entire economy and strategy is basically built around tree farms and other farms. It's a good strategy. Social psyche, bunch of quotes, Sif style. There's a bunch of thing here. It's Plato, the Republic. I can probably quote all of these off the top of my head without any issues because that's how crazy I am. Let's get a weapon technology. Sea farm we don't really need. Doctrine flexibility we don't really need. Seekers of the human brain. We can get fundamentalist. We'll get back to that later. Or we can go with doctrine and loyalty and unlock the command nexus, which is a secret project as well. But I want to go for applied physics and get the first weapon, which is a laser. It doesn't sound that impressive, I know. Okay, first base facility on the planet. Nice. Perfect. So we build our first base facility, and now we're going to build a colony pod. Unlike some of the other Civ games, as we're building a colony pod, which is basically a settler, the base will still grow. For instance, if you've played Civ 4, yeah, basically you will not grow anything in terms of your bases and population as long as you're building a settler unit, which is kind of annoying. Actually, we've got the most territory. That means that all the other guys spawned near each other. That's kind of crazy. Let's build a mine here. I'm not going to build it on the energy patch because I'm going to build a thermal borehole there as soon as we can, as soon as we get the secret project. Okay, so colony pod. Important. Let's get the weather paradigm going, and let's move this out. Okay, weather paradigm 1 and weather paradigm 2. So weather paradigm will now be done in 22 turns, which is very fast. Normally at this stage, you're kind of looking at 33 turns. Unless you have a really good start, you can get it down to 22. But, oh no, through a dimensional gate. That is bad. That means we don't have a scout unit back on our area unless we can walk all the way back. Let's try to ignore this thing here. We can't move to this tile because we're being flanked by this thing over here. So we need to move around. Unless we've got blink, which is very late in the game, you can outfit your units with a blink unit or a blink modifier, which allows you to ignore these zones of influence. You can basically just roll through them. Okay, so we have our mine here. We just built. We didn't build on a mineral patch or the energy patch for reasons. I will get to that later. And our recon rover has actually managed to get relatively close by. This island is bigger than I thought. Okay, technology. What should we get? Let's go for information networks. We can wait with the secrets of the human brain for now. There is an alien. Let's go and kill it. Again, with the recon rover, we can move a lot faster and a lot more efficient. So we want to keep it. We want to keep it like that. Okay, so we've placed our base here. Optimally, we would build another base over here, which would basically cover this area. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as the weather paradigm is done, can I actually hurry this? Almost. Okay, so let's take a look at our economy here. We're getting 3 energy a year, which is more than enough for now. Let's just build some more forest. I'm really not all too keen. Oh, this is bad. Okay, we need to move this guy. Because mindworms, they can move 2 tiles through this red stuff, which is planet fungus. Yes, it's actually called planet fungus. Did not come up with the name myself. If a unit is nearby, they will most likely try to kill it, which is something we don't want. Also, a good thing about forests is they spread on their own, which means that you only have to plant one of them, and eventually they will cover as many tiles as they can. Even overtaking the fungus itself, they just won't expand into rocky areas, which can be a bit annoying. I do like to have as many forests as humanly possible. Okay, so there's 2 mindworms here. So they can move through the fungus. Okay, heart and status. And here we get an event, a little story blurb, talking about how the mindworms attacked our base and managed to breach the perimeter and lay their eggs in the brains of our colonists. Yes, they do lay brains in our colonists. How do they do that? They're just worms. Well, apparently they're psychic, and they induce horrible, horrible visions of terror. Psi-induced terror, and most of the experience of unimaginable excruciating death as the worms burrowed into the brain implant the ravenous larvae. That's terrifying. That's a terrible way to go. Awful. Awful. Just awful. Okay, I think I saw a Mindworm there. Being cheeky. Yeah, thought as much. Can we cancel this one? No, we cannot. That is a problem. We may gonna lose this former. It's expensive. Not too happy with that, but it's how it is. Unless I can intercept, which I won't be able to do. I want to keep away. Yeah. Oh, it's actually going for the base. That's fine. Okay, so we managed to keep our former, which is very good news. Let's go and take on this Mindworm over here. And let's start building this road to Sparta Command. Okay, we can move once and we can move twice without any negatives, which is great. And oh my god, it actually became Commando now, which means it's one tier below the best possible unit. Let's build a mine. There's the weather paradigm. Thank God we managed to get it. Probably the most important one. And we got it in 2148, which is ahead of schedule. Very nice. Good. Let's build a colony pod and send this guy back towards the monolith. There is a small chance that if we move our unit into the monolith will disappear forever, which would not be very good. Zarkov going for the virtual world. It's pretty standard here for the University of Planet. And we are going to need to build a special building now that we have the weather paradigm. Let's go for planetary networks. We can get the hologram theater, which is kind of good. We could try to snatch it away, but I want to go for the command nexus instead because the command nexus is so good. Gives you an additional bonus in terms of veterancy, and especially the Spartans get a huge, huge advantage out of that. And if you can manage to get one of the more advanced versions of that, I think it's called the Bioenhancement Center, you can get another 2 levels on top of that, which is absolutely staggering in terms of how good it is. Let's go for the Human Genome Project here. As you can see, I'm spamming quite a lot of these secret projects at the start of the game. The main reason for that is because the starting secret projects are so incredibly good. And the game is kind of scaled in such a way that you kind of would only expect to get one secret project at the start of the game so that everybody can get a good modifier. However, I've played this game more than enough to know that I can easily grab a bunch of them. And considering nobody is nearby, I can easily get ahead of the enemy, even though Morgan right now is ahead of the pack in terms of faction dominance when we look at our graph here. Yes, we can't see all the other empires because we know that they're on the map. Anyway, on that bombshell, we're going to go and wrap up this episode. It's been the first episode for Alpha Centauri. I hope that you enjoyed it. Drop some feedback below to see if you liked it, and if you're just like, hey man, your strats, like, you're cool and all, but you're absolutely terrible at this game. That's fine. That's fine. We're all here to learn. I've never looked at any forums or anything like that regarding this game, and this is all self-taught. So, but yeah, Alpha Centauri, if you like what you're seeing, go pick it up. It's on goodoldgames.com. Make sure you get the planetary pack because it does add the expansion to it. Very good. One of my favorite games of all time. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other.